So, which uncommon champions are actually good? Which ones do you actually want to be holding on to? Let me break it to you. There's not that many that are pretty tight, but one of them that is extremely good and you'll probably be maxing out on your account is going to be Armiger. This is the kind of champ that, as a brand new player, it might not be super obvious why you want to hold on to Armiger, why his kit is so good. So let's quickly break it down, man. The A1, attack one enemy, decrease the turn meter by 30% if this attack is critical. 30% is nothing to sniff at, it's very, very reliable. You build this guy eventually with 100% crit as soon as you can. And now you have some extremely reliable turn meter reduction on an A1 that you can spam out every single turn. This is integral. This is extremely, extremely good against very specific boss encounters and will continue to be extremely solid. Yeah, all the way up until, well, at least the mid-game, you know, thereabouts. Anyway, Armiger also has an extremely good A2. Attack one enemy on the later rest. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Damage is also based on defense and enemy max HP. So two extremely good components to the A2 here. First of all, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. It's a block revive. This is really, really important to note for specific boss encounters. And of course, enemy max HP damage means that just the damage from this A2 is going to scale basically infinitely, depending on what enemy it is that you're swinging into. So checking out his reviews real quick. Unsurprisingly, Spider's Den and Fire Knights are super, super high rated. Why are these so high rated? Because these are two bosses that are very, very vulnerable indeed to turn meter reduction. Ideally against the likes of Fire Knight in particular, you want that guy to never ever be having a turn, because as soon as he has a turn, he replenishes all of his shield stacks and you have to wade your way through all of those all over again. If you can just prevent him from getting a turn, then you can end up building team compositions against Fire Knight where the son of a gun just never gets a turn, and Armiger can be an integral part of that team, or at least progress you towards building that team. Maybe replace him with something better eventually, but he's still a really, really good part of that team until such a time comes. Next up, we have Ice Golem. Ice Golem's peak, of course, the Ice Golem is going to be constantly reviving the two adds in that boss fight, and the only way to prevent him from reviving those two adds is, of course, by denying enemy revives, which, yeah, Armiger is able to do on his A2. Now, he's not the only champ in the game that's able to do this, but for an uncommon champ, he's probably going to be your go-to option for getting that job done until you find a better option. And lastly, because this damage on later rest is based on enemy max HP, the higher level Spider you're trading into with the Armiger and swinging into with the A2 when it comes time to just get the boss dead, the more damage this thing's going to be doing. It's going to be hitting like a goddamn truck. And similarly, even though Dragon's Lair is rated quite low, in the higher stages of Dragon, it's a similar deal. Max HP based damage is going to hit like a truck against the son of a gun, and Armiger is there for that once again until you find a better option. So all in all, just an extremely, extremely solid uncommon champ that I heard a lot about when I first started playing a couple months ago, and it's only after playing over the past 60 days or so that I've taken the time to appreciate the Armiger and become an Armiger appreciator. Now, how do you want to build this son of a gun? You want plenty of accuracy on this guy, because of course you're going to need accuracy to actually land the decreased 10 meter effect. Very, very important stuff. And of course for the A1 as well, the attack has to be critical. So 100% crit, do whatever it takes to get him in 100% crit gear. Honestly, on my Armiger, like, I've completely ignored sets. Like, I don't care about the set bonuses or whatever. I have him like a couple of pieces of retaliation gear, a piece of perception gear here and there. Like, it's just all over the place. But I'm just making sure that I hit 100% crit rate on the guy, and hopefully I can get things in a bit of a prettier state as I unlock better gear and better items on my account. Armiger, definitely the first champ we're going to be covering here, man. Okay, who's next? I'll tell you who's next. Actually, not who, but what. Promo code GameLeap. Go ahead, use this code if you haven't already. It will unlock you 1 free energy refill, 10 experience brews, and 100,000 silver. So if you haven't used this code already, get it used, gosh darn it, it's on the house. And in addition, if you're looking to start off a new raid account anytime soon, make sure to do so by clicking the promo link down below at the top of the video description to kickstart your new account with a free epic champion and a whole bunch of free starting resources. The best possible way you can look to start your new raid account. God damn it. Okay, so the next uncommon champ we're covering is going to be one of the barbarians. Can you guess who it's going to be? Yeah, it's going to be Shield Guard. absolute golden oldie. This guy is incredibly good. So while you can only get your hands on Armiger through unlocking mystery shards and by pulling mystery shards to eventually get enough copies of him to completely max him out, Shield Guard is completely campaign farmable, so it's very, very easy to fully max out all of his skills in the tavern. And that is part of the reason that this guy is so good, right? It basically costs you almost no resources to fully max this guy out and get him into a good spot for his one job, which we're going to get to in just a little bit, man. Let's break down the kit. His A1 is an attack 1 enemy with a small chance of placing a small decrease speed debuff for a couple of turns. Damage scales based on defense, so it's another defense champ, which is really, really good, by the way. Defense champions mean that the more defense you stack, they're doing more damage and they're gaining in survivability, so if it's like an uncommon or a rare champ, I really, really like it when they're defense because it makes them survivable and allows them to do their job in one fell swoop. The A2, this is where things get really cool. Attacks all enemies. Fill this champion's turn meter by 20% for each critical hit. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So, of course, just like Armiger, you want to build this guy with as close to 100% crit as possible. It's not quite as necessary on Shield Guard for the job that he's going to be doing for us, but it's still pretty damn good. Now, the passive. This is a big one, dude. 1 turn cooldown, so every single turn, remove 1 debuff from this champion each turn. So fully maxed out, get him in some nice, speedy gear, right? Plenty of defense in a lifesteal set. Why a lifesteal set? Because a fully maxed out Shield Guard in a good lifesteal set is going to be soloing Minotaur's Labyrinth. What's his ratings actually? How is he a 4.7, dude? He can literally solo the hardest stage. Like, these ratings are stupid, dude. I'm just giving the 5 right now, man, because he deserves it. So yeah, lifesteal set, Shield Guard, solo the crap out of... what? I've called submit. God damn it. Yeah, he can solo the crap out of Minotaur's Labyrinth. Why is that so good? Well, because if you want to farm up masteries on your champs, right, you can throw any champs into a group that you want alongside the Shield Guard, and he will just carry them through Minotaur's Labyrinth. And yeah, he's your mastery farmer. He might not be the fastest champ in the game at doing it, but he's the only champ in the game you will ever have to build to do it. So once you've got one really, really good lifesteal set and you've maxed this guy out and he's really, really easy to max out with skills because again, he's campaign farmable, you never have to worry about Minotaur's Labyrinth ever again. And that is why Shield Guard is so goddamn tight. Hey man, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe, by the way. It would really, really mean a lot. Starting up a fresh channel over here, you know what I'm saying? So I'd be really, really glad to have you all. Now, some additional champs that we got to cover. And I guess you can consider these kind of honorable mentions, because they're not going to be required for everyone's account. And almost all of these uncommon champs that we were about to cover just now are obviously going to be outscaled by things like rares and epics as your account develops a little bit. But the Outlaw Monk. When do you want to get your hands on this guy? Well, if you didn't pick Kael as your starting champion, this guy is going to help get you started against Clan Boss, right? The Demon Lord. So the A1 attacks one enemy, has a small chance of granting an extra turn. Actually, very, very good, because of course an extra turn mechanic effectively lowers the cooldown of all of your skills, right? So if you swing in with this A2, which is very, very good, the A2 is now on cooldown, you swing in with the A1, get that extra turn, well, you've effectively just reduced the cooldown of foul play by 1 turn, right? And the A2 is very, very good indeed. Places 2 strong 5% poison debuffs on the target for 2 turns on just a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very good stuff. Of course, poison is crucially useful against Clan Boss, and again, if you haven't started off with Kael, who would be your chief poisoner, then Outlaw Monk is going to be your go-to damage dealer to really get you started through easy and normal, and maybe even a little bit of hard Clan Boss. Again, he'll be replaced eventually. You probably don't need to take him all the way to level 60, but still a really, really good option. When it comes to gear, of course, you just want this guy in as much speed and accuracy as you can possibly get him in. Accuracy being most important to make sure that he is never missing these poison debuffs and they are always getting applied reliably. Next up, heading on into the High Elves, we have another campaign farmable champ here in the form of Elfgard. Now, Elfgard is seen as something of a rival to Armiger because of the A2, right? It can be booked down to a 2-turn cooldown, attack one enemy, decrease the enemy's turn meter by 50%. However, it is enemy's current turn meter, which means that if the enemy only has like 10% of their turn meter filled and you use this, yeah, it's going to be a tiny 10 meter reduction. It's going to do almost nothing. However, if the enemy's 10 meter is almost full, then this is a pretty damn good skill. The problem is that this is really Elfgard's only good skill. Unlike Armiger, the A1 is just not that impressive. It's just a standard hit with a chance of placing a weak decrease attack. And that's where she really fails to shine through. As far as uncommons go, she's still one of the better uncommon champions, that's for sure, but she's not exactly up against stiff competition, you know what I'm saying? So Elfgard, will you be leveling this gal? I wouldn't recommend it at all, to be honest. I think I took one to like level 38 or something, then I was like, wait, what am I doing? Like, she's not even that good. My account has already progressed. Like, my account's only 2 months old, and I'm already so far progressed beyond the point at which I would even consider using Elfgard that she's probably going to get used as food any day now. And so, yeah, she's one worth mentioning. Of course, if you are going to build Elfgard, you're going to need a decent amount of accuracy to land the all-important 10-meter reduction, because that's really the only thing that she's actually useful for. God, I feel like I'm being quite harsh about the poor Elfgard, man. She's listening in right now, she's just upset, she's distraught, she's disheveled. Let's head on back to the Barbarians to cover the next champ, which is actually one I like quite a bit, and that is going to be the Zephyr Sniper. All because of the A1. She has an attack all on the A1 with a chance of increasing the cooldown of her random skill on each target by 1 turn. Even just completely forgetting the second part, it's an attack all enemies on the A1, meaning it's spammable, meaning when you eventually grab yourself a stun set, you can slam Zephyr Sniper in that stun set and be at least somewhat reliably throwing out mass waves of stuns in any kind of wave-based content. The A2 is a little bit meh. It's a little bit crappy, right? It's a 4-turn cooldown, fully booked, chance of placing the weak version of continuous heal buff on all allies for a couple of turns. Honestly, will you ever be using this? I kind of feel like you might as well just disable this skill completely and focus on just spamming the A1 with the stun set equipped over and over and over. It can be pretty damn strong. And honestly, I feel like Zephyr Sniper would be much, much more highly recommended if not for one very, very crucial thing, and that is Soulbond Boya. If you just go up to the rare champs a little bit, you find Zephyr Sniper's big sister in the form of Soulbond Boya, which also has an attack all enemies on the A1, except this one has a 25% increased chance of inflicting a crit. The A2 is decent, it's alright. Honestly, you probably won't be using that much, but it's an attack 1 enemy with a also an increased chance of placing that crit. We'll ignore 75% of the target's defense. It's fine, it's not that bad. The A3 though is actually really, really good, right? Attack 1 enemy has that increased chance of critting, and also has a fully booked 100% chance of fully depleting the target's 10 meter. She's literally just Zephyr Sniper, but better in like every way. I mean, look at her strutting her stuff, dude. She knows it as well. God damn. So yeah, I don't know. If you don't have a Soulbond Boya, and you're looking for a kind of like AoE controller, I guess, to put in a stun set and help you out through faction wars, you might want to take Zephyr Sniper to like level 50 or something. But just know, as soon as you get Soulbond, Soulbond is going to very, very quickly replace her little sister here. And finally, that brings us to the last uncommon we're going to cover. We're going to head on into the Lizard Men and click on the happy little Saurus. I'm sure I might have missed an uncommon champ here and there. By the way, if you feel like I'm missing any decent uncommons, make sure to drop them down below in the comments. That'd be really, really interesting to read. And who knows, your comment might actually help out any new players that are checking out this video. So, Saurus, again, it's another attack all enemies spammer, right? He's an attack-based champ. On the A2, he's also got an attack all enemies 2 times, which is pretty damn tight. Ignoring all of the effects he plays after the fact, it's really about the fact that he swings in 2 times with the A2. That's pretty good. Now, one way that you can build Saurus, you can just slam him predictably in a stun set, and you can use him in that way. Another way that you can use Saurus is put him in some lifesteal gear with plenty of crit, plenty of damage, lifesteal set, and use him as a campaign farmer. This is a road you can go down. It allows you to then build your starting champ to do a different job in the game, right? You can take your starting champ out of the lifesteal set and get them focused on doing something else. Maybe it's clan boss or whatever you want to focus them on. And Saurus can completely take over the role of blasting the campaign stage 12 and leveling all of your food champs. The problem with that is, once again, he's just kind of replaced by better rare champions, sometimes quite quickly. Namely, if we head on into the demon spawn, scroll on down. If you've been playing the game for any longer than like a week, you probably know who I'm going to click on here. If I can find him. Why am I blind? Oh god, there he is. Yeah, Fellhound kind of does the same job. And attack all enemies. He's got a heal that you're probably going to disable if you're using him as your campaign farmer. Oh god, and honestly, even the A3 as well. You're just spamming in with the A1 over and over and over. Better damage scaling, more reliable, faster animations than Saurus. Just kind of Saurus, but does everything better. And so that's really the shortcoming of the uncommon champs. I think of the 4 that we just covered, what is probably Outlaw Monk? that you're looking to build, like, most likely, if you don't start off with Kill and you just need that Poisoner. But besides that, it's really all about Shield Guard and Armiger when it comes to the two definite uncommons that you're going to want to hold on to. Hey, that is, unless I missed any, you know what I'm saying? Drop some names down below if you feel like I'm sleeping on any secretly super powerful uncommon champs. But hey, I thought I'd just touch on that for today's video. Hope you all did enjoy. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. If you are looking to set up a fresh new account, make sure you do so by clicking the promo link down below at the top of the video description to kickstart your new account with a free Epic Champion. While you're down there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.